So the next question is, how long does negative information stay on my credit report? And the negative information such as how long does it stay on your credit report? So before I go into credit negative information, if you see the credit score, this credit score system, you see poor, fair, good at the top now, very good and excellent. The bad side about this thing is that under normal condition, if you are still on a facility default and your credit report is still very good, they're supposed to give you loan. But because Nigerian, you are owing one loan now, they will tell you they don't want to give you. Nigerians now. So there's this stigma that they've had there that hey, Nigerians they don't like to pay debt and all. It's all over the world. Anybody don't likes to pay debt. So I'm not told Nigerians don't like to pay debt. If Nigerians don't like to pay debt, how is it that these people, these criminal called loan apps that are charging 40, 50%, 70%, how is it that in the last 7 years they are still in business? How? So don't let them come up with this nonsense narrative that Nigerians don't like to pay debt. You are charging 70%, 80% on a loan, and you have been in the system for over 7 years, and you are telling us that Nigerians don't like to pay debt. Does that make sense? So how have you been coping? So tell us, declare your financial statement, and let us see if you are not making money. So they will paint it as if everybody. So I can put it to you that more than 80% of Nigerians are paying these criminals. That's why they are flourishing. They are making money in billions on yearly basis. So anytime, let me explain this credit score very well. Anytime there is you pay on time, you pay before the due date, your credit report will be in around 700, 750. You always pay your money to show you that your mumu is on the high side. You always pay your money. Let's assume you are not dealing with financial banks now. You are dealing with loan apps, and you always pay your money. Pay, 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 pay. You have never defaulted before. It will be around 700, 750, or 800 self. That is excellent credit report. And the way it's being calculated, the day you default on that, it's 2 days overdue like this. That thing will affect your credit report. 2 days overdue, 3 days overdue to affect, 4 days to affect, just like that. So by the time you now have a full-fledged report, like you stop paying outrightly, even if you are on excellent report, it will drop drastically to good, maybe around 500 to 700, drop drastically. Because by the time they do the math, total number of facility collected divided by total number of facility currently hold, fine, default number of days being calculated. By the time they do the mathematics, your credit score will drastically reduce. And if you're now owing 3 or 4 loan apps, regardless of how many times you have paid, if you're owing like 3 or 4 loan apps, everything it can drop drastically to fear because of your facility default. So what am I trying to say in essence? Loan app will make, if you have been borrowing from banks, you have been borrowing and paying, you have been borrowing and pay back, you borrow and pay back, you borrow and pay back. The day you started borrowing from loan apps, and because whether you like it or not, you stop borrowing from loan apps. I just pray that they will not destroy everything you have ever worked for or taking away all your fortune before sense will return to you. The day you borrow from loan apps and you are owing three loan apps, even your credit score is still 600, 700, 750 and all that's excellent, very, very good. It will drop drastically to fear. Drastically to fear. Sometimes to very, very poor. Why? Because by the time they calculate, okay, maybe let's use real money or fair money as an example. You borrow money from fair money, just one. You have been paying all this while. You have been paying. Just one time you did not pay, and that loan you are supposed to pay in 24 months. So imagine having 24 defaults on your credit report. You stop paying, maybe you just pay 2 or 3 or 5, and you stop paying. That 18 default on that your credit report minus the negative aspect of it, it will drop drastically to poor. Just by borrowing from fair money or real money, all those loan apps with high interest rates, just by borrowing from them. So stay away from any loan app that will be offering you above 5%. Stay away from them. Stay away from them. It will drop drastically. Even if you have been borrowing for the past 15 years, it will drop drastically. To tell you the negative effect of borrowing from these criminals. Because they are not after your well-being, they're after your money, they're after of transferring your wealth to them. That's what they're after. They're just after that thing. How on earth will you be giving someone 90% on loan? And if the person did not pay, you are going to report the person to care. So I think one of the things that we need to fight is anybody that is operating facility high interest loan. They are not supposed to report this thing kind of thing to loan up to credit bureau. They're not supposed to report it because nobody can ever prosper borrowing from these people. Nobody. They have to limit this thing to banks and the reputable microfinance banks. So the last question is how long does negative information stay on your credit bureau? Before that thing can be removed from your credit bureau, it's going to take about 7 years before they will remove. Before it's not that they will remove it. It's just that when they want to query credit bureau, they will query credit bureau based on last 7 years. That's what they are saying. So it will start from last 7 years to current year. So for instance, if they want to query credit bureau now for me, they will start the date that this guy gets his credit facilities from 2019 to 2026. That's how they will query it. So all the credit facilities all the loan that I've obtained from 2019 to 2026, it will fetch it out. So by the time it gets to 2030, it will be all the loan that I've obtained from 2024 or 2023, 2030. That's how it works. So you wouldn't want to wait for about 7 years before they clear this thing from your name. 7 years is a very long year. So I advise everyone, stay away from loan apps. This thing will mess up your mental health, will mess up everything that you have ever worked for. They have nothing to offer you but financial ruin. They have nothing to offer you. It's just the financial. They are designed to steal from you, to kill and to destroy everything you have ever worked for. Let us sink in. It is very, very important to get this straight. That's how they are designed to operate. Please, I encourage everyone, stay away from loan apps. Stay away. Outrightly stay away. And if you have been borrowing from them, it is time for us to consolidate our efforts and fight this and kick these criminals out of Nigeria and Africa at large. Because this thing is paramount in Africa.